a series of English language textbooks that has been published by Encyclopedia Britannica. This series is being offered to schools and learners as a complete solution for language learning, right? And we say it's the complete solution because it takes care of all the aspects of language learning that children of the 21st century need. I think we all understand that English is the new basic skill that has become almost mandatory for participation in the 21st century civil society. And English is the language of opportunity and globalization as well. So this series here, which is essentially for learners from classes 1 to 8, focuses on the communicative approach through very structured and very well graded language texts. The series here is a complete solution in the sense that we are offering textbooks. We are offering technology as well in the form of an interactive CD for the learners to use and work on at their own time and at their own pace as well. Very interesting format where they practice a listening text for comprehension. Then they practice speaking as well, and this speaking is in the form of listening to the expert voice and then articulating the sentences or words, and they can record their voices and then listen back. So it's a kind of a fun game for the learner, where they can listen, then say it, and then listen back again. And they don't need then to limit themselves just to the words there. They can make the word into a sentence. Whichever way, the child has complete freedom to use that section there. Then we have a vocabulary section as well in the interactive CD and 2 grammar games there. One is Beat the Net, a football game. So every time the child gets a sentence that is correct, there's a great cheering. Well, he has scored a goal, right? And the other game is a Snakes and Ladders game. Very interesting, very interactive for the learners, which again, as I said, doesn't require any teacher intervention. They can do it at their own pace, at their own time. The CD also has a lot of very valuable information also on it, which would be of interest to the parents as well. It has the visual dictionary, it has an online dictionary, interesting material in the form of word games, vocabulary exercises, word searches, etc., that even the parents would find very, very interesting to do along with their kids. And then, of course, for the schools, we have the language lab, which is a complete and a real value add for the learners, because we've integrated the language lab along with the textbook. So one reinforces the other, which is quite a departure from the earlier available technologies, where the language lab had no relation to the textbook. It was like an additional aspect of the language curriculum. But here there's a clear link between the two. So when we say that it is a complete solution, it is a complete solution. It is also a completely holistic solution as well, because apart from providing all the tools that a learner needs to develop proficiency in the language, we have made it a point really to focus on the development of the learner's ability to differentiate, evaluate, categorize information, various other aspects of higher order thinking skills as well. And we've also focused on the values, moral values and issues that can be derived from the texts. So they're just not plain texts, right? A dry text, but something that the learners can learn from. They can build on that information. And it's not only about morals, because it's not a moral science book, but yes, we've helped learners to derive, particularly from class 1 to 5, to derive some moral value from what they are reading, right? Another, I think, significant aspect of, we have covered all the themes that NCERT has prescribed for learners. So we have a variety of texts that deal with subjects in a very interesting manner. For example, Book 4 has a chapter called Stars with Fuzzy Tails. Now that immediately will ring bells in people's fuzzy tails. It must be about comets. So we've linked science as well, right, in the text, but we presented it in a very, very interesting way that the learner will want to read. So we've exposed the learner to a variety of themes, a variety of types of texts as well. We have every sort of genre in our textbooks as well. The learner will definitely develop an appreciation for the language. And once that appreciation is developed, then they become self-learners, then they want to learn more about the language, and that is what the series is definitely going to do. We through our text, we have given them the triggers. They have given them, you could also say it's kind of an appetizer, right, for them to develop their interest in the language, because once their interest is also developed, then they become learners for life, and that is what we want our learners to do. Because when I was writing the series, I kept in mind what my learners need. I put myself in, the child's shoes, so to speak. Right? What would the child be interested in? What would maybe a class 1 child be interested in? What are his experiences? Is there something that we could use and draw on from their own experiences for something that they would like to read? Similarly, for the higher levels, class 6 to 8, they are coming into adolescence at that stage, right? So what would an adolescent be interested in reading? Right? Even if we are touching on things like the environment, could it be couched in a very, very interesting manner for the learner? Yes, we have done that. We've made them very interesting. The texts are very interesting for the learner. So every time when I thought of a text, I put my learner in mind. Given the theme that I had to cover from NCERT, what would the learner want to know? What's good for the learner to know about this theme, right? Because coming again to that point of environment, cutting trees has become a cliched topic, right? Everybody talks about cutting trees, etc., etc. I think kids have really become tired of that. Right? Is there something more that we can touch on about trees to help them build their appreciation for the environment? That is what I have looked at when writing the text, or when finding appropriate material for the text, from which we can then draw the various other skills.